In Depth with Academia, I'm Richard Price, CEO of academia.edu, and as always, I'm here to bring you thoughtful, lively discussion about the latest and greatest, or occasionally the most controversial, papers making waves in the world of academic research. Just as a little reminder before we jump in, I'm presenting this paper with total neutrality. I'm not endorsing its claims, and I encourage you to approach it with your own critical lens too. Academic work isn't absolute truth. It's a conversation starter, a source of insight to help us explore and challenge ideas. Today we're diving into a fascinating literary analysis by Pritesh Chakraborty that tackles Joseph Conrad's. Let's unravel that together. So, core question time. Chakraborty's paper asks, what does darkness symbolize in Heart of Darkness, and how has it shaped our understanding of race, colonialism, and the human psyche? Why is it such a big deal that Conrad chose darkness as the central image anyway? I mean, I can't think of many books where one word manages to carry so many layers of meaning and historical baggage. It's a word that's literal, it's metaphorical, and it raises all these messy questions about morality, race, ignorance, and, well, even narrative style. Let's get into some of the key takeaways. First, Chakraborty breaks down the concept of darkness into two main kinds, the literal and the symbolic. On the literal side, darkness is everywhere in Conrad's book. The night, the dense forest, that almost physical, suffocating gloom over the Congo River. It sets the novel's haunting mood, sure, but it's also historically ironic, since Africa gets called the Dark Continent, even though it's sitting smack on the equator, soaking up sunlight. That's always struck me as kind of funny. Imagine a continent with the most sunlight still getting labelled as dark, huh? But it doesn't stop there. Chakraborty brings in voices like Chinua Achebe, who claim that Conrad's darkness isn't just about an absence of light, it's about how Africa and Africans are othered, painted as a backdrop for European drama, even dehumanized. Darkness becomes tangled up with racism here. Scenes with African characters so often describe them as shadows, mobs, or grotesque figures, barely ever as full humans. And there's a big debate. Some scholars say Conrad is criticizing imperialism, others, like Achebe, say he's perpetuating racist myths. You, as a listener, might wonder, like, where's the line? Is Conrad exposing horror or just repeating it? Again, I'm not here to settle that, but it's such an important set of questions. On the symbolic end, it gets even murkier. Darkness stands for so much more. Chakraborty highlights ideas like blindness, ignorance, and moral ambiguity, the blind fates, spinning black wool in London, Marlowe's journey deep into the subconscious, even the black clothes of mourning. They're all tied to darkness as fate, sorrow, and unknown depths. There's this psychoanalytic reading too. Marlowe literally moves from the civilized centre to the fringes, from conscious order into the subconscious wilderness. Darkness here is about what's lurking in the human heart, which, let's face it, can get pretty spooky. The character of Kurtz is the central test case. He's supposedly Europe's best and brightest, but the heart of his own darkness emerges brutally in the Congo. It's a grim warning. Darkness isn't just out there in the wilderness, it's inside all of us, hidden under the veneer of civilization. This ties right back to real-world questions. What do we do when confronted by our own prejudices or moral limitations? What kinds of darkness do we ignore, excuse, or project onto others? Oh, and here's a little digression. Have you ever noticed how darkness gets used in everyday language? Like, I'm in the dark about this project, or she has a dark sense of humour. We almost can't help but use that imagery. Funny, isn't it? How some metaphors just stick in our culture and language, no matter what. Returning to the paper for a minute, Chakraborty adds a narratological angle too, saying the narrative techniques themselves are full of dark spots, with ambiguous voices, jumps in time, and layers of confusion that mirror the story's themes. It's like Conrad set out to make readers feel lost and uncertain, forcing us to confront our own assumptions, and sometimes I do get lost in dense literature, though maybe that's just me. So, what does all this mean for you, as someone curious about literature, history, or just, people? This paper suggests that darkness in Heart of Darkness isn't just a plot device, it's an invitation to think deeply about how we judge another people, how we recognize or ignore suffering, and how easy it is to project our fears onto someone else. As always, These are insights to ponder, not gospel, thought-provoking ideas to carry with you next time you tackle a complicated novel or reflect on your own experiences. All right, that's enough from me today. Remember, I'm just the messenger here. These aren't my arguments, but rather Chakraborty's, brought to you with neutrality and hopefully a bit of curiosity. Thanks for joining me on In Depth with Academia, and until next time, keep questioning, keep reading, and don't be afraid of the darkness, at least not in your books.